And it seems like we're now live on YouTube. And hey everyone who is watching on Instagram or maybe on Facebook, and if you see a link to our YouTube stream around there, just follow that link and you're gonna be redirected to YouTube. So here on YouTube, we're gonna be doing something a little bit different today. And today is gonna be not a tutorial, it's not gonna be any sort of guide or something like that. Today we're gonna be talking about some web design trends and some graphic design trends that we can await in 2020, in the upcoming year that is going to happen in like a couple of months. Yeah, it's that crazy. It's already November and it's the high time to start talking about what's going to be relevant, what's going to be trendy, and what's going to be in demand in the next year, because you're gonna want to follow the trends in order to stay on top in the industry, in order to make your websites look up to date, make them look modern, and make them okay. All right, I see. Hey there, a ton of people in the chat already. Thank you for joining our today's live stream. And if you missed a tiny bit of it, you can always rewind and start watching it from the very beginning, but you haven't missed much yet. We're still at TemplateMonster's homepage because it's like I decided to use it like a backdrop sorta, and let me just, that scrolling thing kind of distracts me, so let me just scroll down a bit. So I've got a number of websites prepared to show you which represent the most popular trends that we could notice were present in 2019 and which will be most likely present and highly popular in the next year, in the 2020. And this is what we're going to be doing today. Basically, we're going to be just reviewing websites, having a look at some interesting design solutions, and just discussing some really cool looking stuff. So it's not going to be a tutorial, it's not going to be any sort of guide or explainer video or something like that. We're just going to be reviewing the design trends. And just a quick second, I'm going to take a quick second to let you know that you can always get top-notch, high-quality themes developed by professionals at TemplateMonster.com, which is a marketplace for themes, WooCommerce themes, since we mostly focus on this channel on WooCommerce. WooCommerce, why did I say WooCommerce? WordPress. On WordPress themes, we mostly focus on WordPress and WooCommerce as well, because, you know, WooCommerce is a huge part of the WordPress community, so why not? And there is also a one subscription, and for the viewers of this live stream, we've always got a special present, which is a 10% discount for the one subscription. Just quickly load the page, and this subscription is going to allow you to get over 10,000 high quality products and an unlimited number of downloads, unlimited number of products that you can use for an unlimited number of your projects, and you can always hop on one subscription and get as many designs for as many projects of yours as you need. All right, done with the introduction. Let's finally get the show on the road and let's finally get rolling. So the first website I prepared for today, yeah, I'm using a tab suspender, so while I have a ton of tabs open, it doesn't really get too much of RAM, and the PC doesn't get too slow, or not the PC because I'm on the Mac today. So, all right, this is the first website and the first trend that we're going to be talking about. Probably I had to prepare a presentation keynote or something, but I'm going to do it next time for sure. We're just testing it, we're just trying the waters, and we're going to see what type of content you guys like the best, and then we're gonna be going in that direction probably. But currently we're trying out new types of content that you guys might be interested in. All right, so the first trend that we're going to be talking about will be, try and guess it, and it's going to be bold typography. So it has been huge, not the title in here, but this trend, it has been huge for probably more than a year, and it's gonna only grow bigger, it's gonna stay on top in the following year, and it's not gonna go anywhere. So if you hate this trend, bad news. But a lot of people really like it because it helps you to, okay, I'm gonna be saying it a lot today, that all of these tricks and things that are trendy right now, they all attention grabbers. They're all intended to attract users' attention and make them stop by and stay a little longer on your website because they are amazed, shocked, impressed, because they want to learn more of what this all is about, because it all looks so stunning, it all looks so bold and eye-catchy, simply eye-catchy. And let's just scroll down. You see we have, okay, all right, too crazy. All right, we have a nice, really clean layout, and what is hero here is the typography. Here we have a huge title, and we have a really nice, really sleek font pairing. So you see there are really two different fonts, and actually if you're interested, you know, as we're going to be going through all of these, you could actually drop a line in the live chat and let me know if you want maybe a video on the typography, manual basics, or maybe font pairing or something like that. Something about design, something about design basics. Just would be really interested to know what you guys think about this kind of idea. All right, so the typography is definitely key here. You have a really colorful, bright image on the right and really colorful background, but the type is always what catches your eye first. You always have it here on your left. Here I would say that the background image choice is not probably the best because the paragraph here kind of gets lost in a ton of details that you have in the background. Probably not the best solution. Could be something, it would be better if the image had fewer detail. It was less detailed in here in this half of the image where we have a paragraph of text. But anyway, this all looks amazing. The colors, the fonts, I love it. And also here, as we have scrolled down the page here, we have this little menu which lets us know how we can learn more about what this website is and what who actually the owner of this website is. All right, so it was the first one. We're talking about bold typography and making the accent of typography, accentuating the titles, the headlines with some font selections that really attract their attention, and placing the titles this way that they are really prominent on the page in the viewport, that your eye jumps on the title right away, right as you open the page. It was the first example, and oh wow, what's happening? All right, I really like this effect because yeah, once you try and move your mouse out of the page, you know, it kind of, okay, it's an interesting effect. It kind of changes the layout a little bit. All right, the second example is still going to be about typography. Still talking about typography, a couple more examples, except all the cookies. And here you see that it has gone even more crazy. I really love the layout, and I like that it actually changes, okay, hold on. It actually changes the look of your cursor, which is also another popular trend. And I think, okay, typography would be great. I knew that. I also love typography. I love talking about typography, learning more about how to work with typography efficiently and how to make it work the best way. So we actually got a couple videos on design basics and design principles coming up on our channel in a couple of weeks, because we're really working hard on them because we want to make them of the highest quality possible. And I believe that, yeah, since we're getting requests, we're also going to add some typography basics video on our content plan for sure. For now, just want to give you a couple insights. We're really reworking our entire content plan. All of the stuff we have prepared for YouTube is going to be fresh, it's going to be new, and we're going to be working really hard on improving the overall quality of our YouTube videos for sure. All right, this website overall is like super crazy. It's like far as I can see, it's like a huge portfolio of some design agency, and what they're doing is they're just putting these titles here, these clickable titles here, and once you hover over them, it kind of, first of all, it inverses the color of the title, and second of all, it just makes the background of this huge image and really throws it into your face, and you really cannot miss it. So some could say that it's not, it kind of hurts the usability, it kind of hurts the UX. It kind of does, I have to admit, but it looks stunning and it makes you want to scroll further and it makes you want to explore more. Oh god, it literally doesn't end. Okay. By the way, all of these websites that we're going to be reviewing today are going to be linked in the description under this video after we're done with the live stream, and you can check them out yourself, or maybe... Alright, I could actually do this right now, and yes, I closed that previous website, but let's do it. I'll quickly reopen it, and I'll be sharing the links in the live chat as we go. So yes, and they're also gonna appear somewhere in the comments after the stream is over. I think it would be the most efficient way to do things. All right, so the typography is definitely the key here. Once you open the page, you don't see anything else besides the clean layout here and a huge headline right in the middle, and it catches your eye straight away. Great solution, another great example. Maybe not the best use of the list right down the page, but still works. All right, something. Okay, nice little animation here. I actually love this effect. It's like scratches, scribbles all over. The typography is the hero in here as well. Here we have something a little bit different. It looks... Okay, we've got text here. Maybe here's the readability a little bit, because it seems like a lot, and they used bold, uppercase, you know, not the best solution for the readability, but the readability was not, you know, the main purpose here. The main purpose was to make the user stay and explore, and for this, wow, for this purpose, it really serves just the way it needs to. All right. Also, everywhere we got crazy typography going on. I'm not saying that you have to do the same thing with your websites and you have to be going for the same type of menus, the same type of hero sections, and making your websites look that crazy as these. But these are the websites that get awards, they get featured on awards website, they get nominated for multiple, you know, honorable mentions and stuff like that. And yeah, it looks kind of crazy, but these kind of websites, it's really great to see what is trending right now and what is being on top in the entire industry. And what I would recommend you do is just look through all of these websites, see them for yourself, and kind of learn, but tune all of that down. If you're gonna use some bold and catchy typography on your website, you should definitely tune it down and make it nice and clean, and not go for something crazy, because yeah, it's really good to win an award, for example, to make a website stand out on some portfolio, but for most of the clients and for most of the users, it's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna look nice, but you have to check how it converts, you have to check the UX, you have to do a lot of testing with this sort of designs, because it's really bold solution. And yeah, and you have to really make sure that you know what you're doing if you're going for this sort of solution. All right. So right here, I believe that we are jumping to the second trend that we wanted to talk about in this video. Okay, and by the way, if you want to say something, if you have some requests, if you want to ask questions, if you want to just say hi. You can always do it in the live chat. I'm constantly checking to see I'm looking to the right all the time. And what is going to be is that we could have a little conversation if you just say hi or write something in the live chat. All right, now the next trend that I wanted to talk about in this video is going to be asymmetrical layouts. And what it means is that it is also meant to attract your attention, meant to make you look somewhere where the designer wants you to look. And in this case, we have something really untypical. We have something that we don't normally see on websites. Normally, we're used to having a header up here and seeing a logo, seeing menu links, but here we have something that looks completely different. And guess what? The scroll, oh god. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, kind of hurts the usability a little bit because I kind of messed it up. And alright, having the logo. So as you scroll down, what you get is not the up to down scroll, but you get the horizontal scroll. You're not getting vertical scroll. Instead, you're getting horizontal scroll. And since I'm on the trackpad, I actually wanted to, to move my fingers to the right to scroll the page, but I actually have to move them down how I would do it with the mouse. And it really does look crazy. And what they did is they actually rotated, rotated the normal type of layout that we normally see. Like you see the header is rotated 90 degrees and the page is as well. And wow, it just looks stunning. And we still have the menu here, which is a really smart solution. It's sort of like a sticky header. And it is something crazy, and it makes you go, wow, and it makes you keep scrolling and be wondering what else you might see in there. And all of these little animations in the images, like let's scroll back. You see that as you scroll, not only the text moves, but also this little arrow here. Now look at this image here. As I scroll, it actually scrolls as well. So it has this sort of scrolling trigger in the actual image, and everything is animated. It seems like a lot of stuff is clickable. The images especially, and all of these little links. And this is something crazy, and you've got animations all over, and it makes you keep scrolling and you cannot stop. And this is actually the purpose. This is what this entire thing is for. To make you scroll, to make you spend more time on the website, to make you impressed, amazed, to make you want to, get acquainted with the brand more, and make you let you know that they can do cool stuff even with their own website. And as well, at the end of this journey, I would call it a journey because it was crazy. I really love this website, this particular one. Let me send it to you so we can check this out later as well. Like right there. And let's see. All right. I see 2 new messages in the live chat. I'm gonna answer them real quick before we proceed. The first one looks like the type of typography that designers use in printing flyers. Yeah, probably. It's that. And graphic design and web design, they always go hand in hand. They always are closely related to each other. And the printables, why not use it for the web? Because now people spend a lot more time on the web than on some printables, some paper stuff. They interact with websites a lot more than they interact with brochures, with with all of this kind of stuff that is printed. And the solutions that worked for the printing, for graphic design, they could work as well for the web design, for websites and stuff like that. So yes, you're absolutely right here. And the second question we've got is, what would be the best Elementor theme for a... Okay, I believe that you asked what what's the best Elementor theme that features an asymmetric layout? And this is a really great question. And okay, what I could do is really quickly jump back to TemplateMonster's website. Here it is. And what I want to do here is show you a couple of the latest themes that we got here. And to do that, we're going to go to WordPress store or WordPress themes. And I believe that I saw, okay, let's start with WordPress themes. And what's really great about our latest uploads is that our vendors started to use a lot more of bold and unusual solutions, and more, this way the themes look a lot more creative, they look a lot more modern, and it has been happening for some time. And now, since it started happening probably a year ago, the platform, the marketplace, was filled with a ton of new themes, great high quality themes. And now at this moment, we have a really huge collection of high quality, modern looking, really creative looking WordPress themes. So, which is a great thing. And it's loading a little bit slower because of the slower internet connection, since we're on the stream right now, actually. And what we could do is to check newest products, because I've seen some of the latest uploads. I guess I saw some asymmetrical layouts in there. All right, so let's just scroll a bit and let it load. All right. Where was that? Asymmetrical layout. So, okay, this one is interesting. Not, it doesn't feature like horizontal scroll or something like that. With Elementor at this moment, I haven't found any solutions, any plugins, any add-ons that could help you create this sort of effect. That could help you create a horizontal scroll on your website. It would be sick. It would be so sick if it was possible to do. And I'm pretty sure eventually someone comes up with this sort of solution, because the community, the Elementor community, the Elementor developers community is extremely creative. And all right, let's just I'm gonna open a couple of themes, just the ones that I believe could suit their request. They're all quite good, and they all feature modern solutions, sort of asymmetrical stuff, asymmetrical layouts, bold, eye-catchy typography, this kind of thing. All right, just one more. I think one more theme, and we're gonna go. We're gonna proceed with the trends. All right, it's enough. It's just enough. Let's have a look at the couple themes that I've opened that could feature a asymmetrical layout. Okay, we need a live demo. A little bit slow. All right, gonna be quite a bit of clicking on the links in here, because we gotta open all of these live demos. Well, it still keeps loading. All right, a little bit slow. Slow. Too slow. Okay, here we are. The first really bold looking and really unusual theme that features both of the trends that we've talked about. Bold typography, huge headlines with a really interesting font choice, and also the broken layout. This particular one features very little of the traditional layout as we're used to it. First, it's a lot of parallax going on and this kind of stuff. So it basically has very little of the traditional grid, because a lot of the elements overlap, and you could say it is a sort of a broken grid. It is a sort of a asymmetrical layout, because in this particular one we have all of the elements overlap each other, and we have a lot of white space in here. The same thing here. Same thing right there. and you can go further and you can explore this particular one. I'm going to send the demo to the live chat right now. So also, these solutions are good for, let's say, portfolio websites. If you're creating a portfolio or one-page website where you only get to introduce yourself and just list a gallery with your works in there, and then it will work just fine. This sort of broken layouts, this sort of all the kind of stuff that is really eye-catchy, but doesn't really prove to work well for the UX and for the usability. Another example, I would not say that this is a really asymmetrical type of thing, but you see that the sections do look unusual. A lot of overlapping stuff as well, and what I would say is that overlapping elements, overlapping sections, text elements, images are all the part of the broken grid layout or asymmetrical layout. This is what it is right here. So you see you have this kind of thing where you have two sections overlap, and you also have a little bit white space in here, which is unusual. We don't normally see it on the web. Also sharing the link in the chat. And Black Friday deals, yeah, as far as I know, our team is already working on the offers for the Black Friday, some special offers, something really sweet, something really good for you guys. So if you're interested, stay tuned and check out the banners on our website. They're gonna appear like normally we do it a couple days beforehand, and you're gonna see this banner right above the header, and just pay attention to that, and you're gonna be notified when we have actually have these special offers live. And also we have an also, you can subscribe to the email thing, our emails, weekly, I believe they're weekly emails. And if you subscribe to those, you're going to be notified about all the upcoming special offers, deals, and all that kind of stuff. Another example, here is broken grid, asymmetrical sort of grid. Also, this is as well a portfolio. This is what I've said. It works great for introducing yourself as a creative individual. It works just fine for some creative type of venues, like some creative businesses. This is amazing type of thing that you could do, is go for something crazy looking, something really eye-catchy, like this kind of thing. And am I taking too much time showing you the themes? I was actually going to talk about the trends and show you some of the actual websites, but I've opened way too many links in here. All right, what I want to do is just send the links to the chat. I'm not going to be reviewing them with you right here, but you can always do it yourself. I'm going to send you the links. This is the last one. It's probably going to be the last one. And I believe that I accidentally closed something, furniture design. I wanted to send this one. All right. Also in the preview, you see, has sort of the same thing. A lot of overlapping elements, which is the same broken grid. And we're actually going to be talking about broken sort of layouts later in the video. Again, you see that they all kind of represent some creative individuals, some artists, some designers, some branding or marketing agencies, this sort of thing. All right, we're done with the themes right now, finally. What's that? Some article. And yeah, we were right here. This is what we were talking about. Oh, again. A really interesting solution they went for with the scroll type of thing, and it worked really well for me. And in this case, I do see some usability issues, some UX issues, but I'm sure that they went for some testing and they actually made sure that this is going to work the best way for the users and ensure the best kind of user experience that can possibly be. All right, next, what we're gonna be talking about, I remember that we talked about bold and really loud typography, which is really eye-catchy, great solution to attract attention to particular headline, to particular title. Next one, it was asymmetrical layouts, some unusual solutions with the scroll, overlapping elements, broken grids, and it wants to translate this page because it's gonna be in Japanese. We're gonna have a ton of Japanese in here. Quite not a ton, a little bit. So we've got something crazy going on, probably this kind of animated slider here with some parallax elements, which looks really interesting. And we have the navigation buttons right there on the right. And this is JQ Japan, and it has no, apparently it has no scroll. And okay, I accidentally go back one page back all the time, so the navigation is not that confusing. It's just me who gets lost in the website, so sorry for that. It's just all really unusual, and because people are simply not used to this kind of thing, it can be off-putting a little bit. It can be kind of risky to go for this sort of solution. Like, you want to scroll, but you cannot scroll because it's meant to be a one-page website representing this catalog, representing this list of things, and you can always go and read more. So this is sort of like, you could call it a landing page or something like that. And from this page, since it's intended to catch your attention, you are redirected to something like an article that we've got in here. Okay, here we got Japanese. It redirects you to the actual article that you can read. All right, some cool stuff in here. And I'm gonna send this link to the live chat right now so we can check this out too. And it seems like we've got like way too many links in our live chat. It looks crazy right now. All right, this one is done. Next one, I'm gonna go to Dribble, and on Dribble we're gonna have a look at the work by Serhii Polivanyi, and I'm really sorry from the bottom of my heart that if I pronounced the surname wrong. I'm really sorry for that as well. The layout is asymmetrical because we don't have the traditional grid as we normally do, as we're used to seeing. We've got this type of, it's a slider again, and this is meant to be probably a slider in the hero section, and we've got a ton of elements, but because we still have hierarchy in here. It's not like a ton of stuff thrown together, smashed together, and just here we go, asymmetrical layout, cool design solution. It's not. We still have visual hierarchy in here. We have the main element that draws our attention to itself immediately, like straight away. Where we look is this particular section, and as a designer, as a developer, website creator, you gotta make sure that you create this visual hierarchy that, yes, open it a little bit, that you have to make sure that you create this visual hierarchy, and you have the main element, and I feel like he went for a golden ratio thing in here. You can kind of see the spiral, right? Which it has to be, I believe it has to be somewhere here. Almost. Probably, but he was probably looking into the golden ratio, you know, this kind of thing. This spiral thing. And well, it works pretty good for me because we got the main element here. The second element is probably this one. Then we go here, and then we have the navigation, a little video. All is perfectly legible. You also got to make sure that everything is legible, that there are no elements that are not readable at all, because it's really vital that you want to convey the info on your website. Some elements that you use for decoration, if you use text for decoration, is a totally different thing. But if you want your user to be able to to be able to read what you want to say, then make sure that they can actually read it, that it's legible. I believe I didn't send it to the chat. I'm sorry, forgot again. And send it into the chat right now so we can check this out. Next one. It is already another trend, and the trend that we're talking about next is going to be animation. And what we've got here is, is quite a bit of parallax going on, a video background. Again, you can see that some of these websites, even though we chose them to represent one specific trend, they all have something in common. And here we can also see some bold, really loud, eye-catchy typography. We can see it kind of looks like a little bit of parallax going on, and we've got this kind of thing. And what is really unusual is this thing. And you see that it was made, first of all, when I first saw it, I actually thought that these things are clickable because I really wanted to click on them. And I believe that if they were clickable, probably it would hurt the usability a little bit. It would hurt the user experience because maybe it's not that obvious that you have to click on these, but I really wanted to kind of catch these little words flying in here and click on them and see what's going to happen. But yeah, they're not clickable, meaning that they do not redirect you to any other page. Instead, you can do this, and the mouse wasn't it was a default mouse, Mac OS mouse, because Mac OS cursor, because I kind of clicked away from the window with the browser. But now you see that it also changes your cursor, and you can actually interact with these animated elements, which is really cool still, even though you cannot click on the words, but you can interact with some of the elements, which adds to the user experience. Because if you can interact and you can play around on this particular website, it makes you explore further and see what else you can do. And here goes the actual portfolio with clickable items. All good. Yeah, so that one little section with some animated interactive thing was, oh, wow. You see how huge and loud this actually is. It's crazy. You basically, you cannot miss it. You cannot miss this huge field, this huge email field. Crazy. All right, so let's get back here. So this section was sort of an introductory section. They tell about themselves a little bit. You can see it right there. And yeah, some really interesting solutions, some really creative looking stuff. And proceeding with the animation trend, going back to the animation, it is going to be this. I'm not trying to pronounce the names of these websites because I'm probably gonna be I don't know what language this is, because I could try and guess that it's, I don't know, but I really want to try and guess, but I won't want to offend anybody. Wow, I love it. So you saw this effect? It looks, it's something about water for sure, because we saw this dripping effect. The loading animation was this water dripping effect. We also got the sort of like the animation that reminds you of water here in the menu thing. And as we scroll down, yes, it's something about water for sure. Probably some service that provides drinkable water. Still trying to guess what language this is, because I honestly got no idea. If you guys know what language this is, I would be extremely grateful to you. Surprisingly, Google does not offer to translate this website. Probably it assumes that we know this language. I don't know. Oh, look at the buttons. You see that? Depending on from what side you actually start hovering on the button, it actually animates the border of the button, and this is crazy, and just quite a ton of work and creative effort to do something like that. And you see that this is actually finally we got a website for a business, for actually an actual business. Reykjavik. All right. Yeah, me, I'm so attentive. I'm so attentive. Sorry for that, guys. Was wondering what language this is. All right. We finally got a business website finally. So we see how these trends, we also got pretty interesting font solutions, typography solutions, and we can see how these trends can be applied to actual business websites and services websites, and how we could implement these trends for our clients' projects, for our client work and client websites. Really love it, really love this one, and I'm gonna send it to the live chat right in a second. Looks like Swedish. This is a very good website. Yeah, for sure. Posting the link, and I hope I haven't missed any of the links to the websites that I'm reviewing today, because they're all really high quality, really well made, and I'm really excited to be sharing all of these with you guys. And this is the next one, and we still keep talking about animations, and we're gonna have 4 websites in this section, in this little section here, and just let it load for a while. So, and if I'm not mistaken, it actually lets us know what is being loaded in the process, and it feels like it's going to be something really exciting since it takes that much time to load. Okay, it's done, and it's also loading slower because of the internet connection, because we got a really bad internet connection. Well, actually, I feel like, oh, all right, I cannot hear the desktop audio because it's off right now on my laptop. I could actually try and turn the desktop audio on if you guys want to, but I'm not sure. It could be screaming like crazy, so I better send this link to you and you check this out yourself. We're gonna have a look at the visual. Yes, it's not Swedish. All right. Well, we're right here, and we're gonna look at the graphic design trends. Not gonna be listening to the audio. You could listen to it yourself. All right, we're here, and let's actually click on something. We've got a number of links in here, and what is animated is something in the background, as far as I can see, and I keep clicking. All right. It opens the video right away. Not something that I wanted to do, not open the video, show real portfolio. Okay, let's do the portfolio thing. And I believe that what actually took that much time to load was probably the animated background thing. All right, they actually do have a lot of stuff animated. Oh, some cool video game. Here they have their clients listed, probably some references, this kind of thing, and there are also some creative agency. So you can kind of see that they mostly only some guys from the creative industry mostly go for this type of creative solutions. And to me, this one doesn't look that that unusual. It looks a little bit more I would say normal to me. Anyway, a lot of the elements are animated. We have a really interesting, really minimalistic design. We don't get distracted by a ton of elements right from the get-go, right from the start. Well, because what we see is this little list and we can start interacting with it. Probably let's try and reload the page. Let me jump back to the home page. And oh yeah, this is actually the one that was loading forever. So once you jump to the home page, okay, now it was faster, so probably was the, probably it cached. This is why it loaded faster. Anyway, this is what the actual home page looks like. What you got, this little list here, and some awesome, cool looking video background, right? Okay, I sent this link to you. This looks like the old Flash sites back in the days. Old Flash websites? Oh, crazy. You think? Probably. I haven't noticed the similarity, but it's a really interesting observation. Probably could be. All right. And the last one for the... okay. No audio. This is one of these sort of websites. You probably saw a ton of these back in the day. For some, they're still actually popular. They're still quite popular, and these are websites that, as they call it, provide the experience, the sort of experience that you have to. You kind of like watching a video while you explore this website, and you kind of are taken through some sort of a story. And let's actually click. Well, okay, we don't get much in here before we actually click on the link. And what it gives us is a ton... Wow, it froze. Did it? Did it freeze? I believe like it did. It actually did freeze right now. I'm gonna blame the connection for it. And it says, okay, you gotta navigate with the keys on your keyboard with the arrows. All right, let's give it one more chance. And anyways, I'm gonna send this link to you guys so you can check it out yourself, because it seems like we're not gonna get any experience right now in here. Well, the footer, you mean this little thing here? Yeah, little minimalistic thing. I really love it as well. And no experience for us, guys. So you better go and check the link out in the live chat right now. I just sent it, and I'm gonna close this one. And sadly, we're gonna proceed to the next thing. And in this one, I kind of combined the two, because it's all about illustration and 3D art. And now they're used probably, 3D elements, and 3D art is nowadays is used almost as often as 2D flat illustrations that were trendy like last year. In 2018 and 2017, they were they really blew up. This kind of stuff, the 2D flat illustrations, now it's more with 3D art, isometric stuff. And what we're seeing right here is some really minimalistic design with the use of 3D elements, and it looks really cool to me. And they sort of present it as also a really interesting thing. You see this transition, it creates this sort of a presentation creator interface, like adding slides and stuff like that. And you can already start guessing what this website is about. It's another business website because it represents a service and application, probably a web app or something like that. Also sending it to you guys so you can be looking at it as well. So here you've got the email subscription form right away. some really cool looking stuff. Also love the font choice, love the typography. Some horizontal like scroll going on in here as we scroll down. Animation, little animated hand right here, all looking really cute, really nice. I really love the I really love how they are created. I really love the style, the lighting, the textures. They like went for sort of a clay looking thing. Looks really cute, looks really attractive to me, at least, because I'm a fan of all the 3D stuff that you can do. And here it's actually looking pretty good because they went for this sort of a combining 3D with 2D. In this case, you see that you have a obviously completely flat page in here, two completely flat, like normal kind of windows in here, and you have this 3D hand and this obviously 3D paper plane, and this combination works really well for me and looking really good, especially with this color scheme, with this color palette. This illustration here, super cute looking, you know, just amazing to me. Also using the typography, pay attention to how they use the typography and how they set the hierarchy. All right, some testimonials. Okay. Well, I really love this one. It's clean. It's I really love the color scheme. They went for two primary colors, which is white and this blue, and they complemented these two primary colors, and also black, of course. And they complemented these colors with a really bright and really, you know, really cute looking color palette on these illustrations, and which draws the eye to these illustrations like immediately. And plus they're animated. What can be better? Really love this one. You can do, all right, the scrolling thing, it's actually, well, it's a really good observation, because yeah, of course you can do it with Elementor. You can do the exact same thing with Elementor, and we actually did it in one of our previous live streams. I was talking about how you can do it with Elementor Pro, because in Elementor you've got these motion effects, pretty recent, with a pretty recent update. Of course you can do all of it with Elementor, because these illustrations are simply video files that are uploaded to your media library, and you just place them here in your layout, and you add some text, and there you go. You can do 100% of it in Elementor for sure. Even I believe even this little thing could be probably not, you know, not totally, I'm not sure if I could totally copy this effect, this particular transition, but they definitely got the fade in, fade out, you know, the transparency, change in theme, animation kind of stuff in Elementor right now, the motion effects as well, and they also got the scale effects. So I think we could try and do something similar, probably not looking 100% like this one, but you could definitely try and do something similar. And I think that it could make a really good tutorial if I figure out how to do something like this, something looking like this exact example, sounds nice. If I figure out how to do it with Elementor Pro only, without any additional stuff, I'll let you guys know, and yeah, I'm gonna post a tutorial on it. Really cool stuff. I really like this one. All right. Next one. Have I sent? Yes, I have sent the link to the chat. Next one. And the next one right here is also going to be illustrations and 3D art and all this kind of stuff. Also, yes, accept. This one features a little bit more busy design, and I'm not saying that I'm loving it 100%, because for me it's kind of looking all right. for me, the visual hierarchy is not really looking the best way, and you guys can let me know what you think about this one. And they tried to me, okay, being honest, to me it actually lacks the white space. It does lack the white space, and the stuff here looks a little bit cluttered to me. Probably I should try scaling it down. Maybe that way it would look better. Well, now it definitely does look better, but you know, it's like 80% of the scale, and I'm not sure if it's you know, like my scaling, my zoom here is broken or something, but yeah, it's definitely not supposed to be like that. Like for me, being like this, it didn't really work. But if we did it like that and we actually moved this thing a little bit up and this thing down a little bit and this entire thing also down a little bit and this thing up a little bit, you know, grouped it a little bit more, maybe like that, even like that is better a little bit. Okay, to me, as I've said, it really lacks white space, and I actually have no idea where to look. And these buttons, all right, but this is just my personal opinion. I'm not saying I have any right to critique this design. Just saying, let's actually scroll. Let's actually keep scrolling, and it mainly features the 3D art in the hero section. Then we don't really, okay, this is a good one. This is a really good one. This animated kind of thing, also the use of animation, and actually, you see that these are clickable, so I could I? They're not. All right, they're not. Yeah, because my cursor didn't turn into a hand. These are not clickable, but because they reacted to the hover, I actually thought they were. Never mind. Well, we've got these things here. It's also using animations quite excessively, and at one point it switches to the horizontal scroll, and this is what it gives us. Makes it a little bit more interesting, but to me it still lacks the white space. Just saying, it still does. Still not feeling like it's enough white space for me. Well, and it's probably the end, and it switches back to, okay, fixed header. Really cool stuff. You can actually do this fixed header thing, the exact same thing, looking the exact same way. You can easily do it with Elementor, with the pro version, of course, because you get to edit headers and footers only in the pro version of Elementor. Sadly, but this is how it is right now at this point. And okay, overall it's looking really good to me. I love the color scheme. I generally love the combination of white, black, and yellow. It always looks good. You are never gonna fall short on if you go with this color scheme. This particular website gets a little bit crazy sometimes, gets a little bit broken sometimes, like here, but overall makes a good impression. I personally would work on the hierarchy and the placing and the white space a little bit more, but it works great for its purpose. So share it into the chat so you can have a look at it yourself. Next one. Moving on to the next one, still keep talking about illustrations and 3D art. And this one, I believe, is going to be a, wow, love the typography. Again, we see a similar application of the type of some, okay, it's actually a loading indicator, looking good. And, oh yeah, I love when they do this stuff, and I actually wanted to try and find a way to do it in on WordPress, do it with the help of Elementor. You know, changing your cursor or not, maybe changing your cursor, but attaching something to your cursor, because I saw it's like being applied on the web a lot right now. It's like It's sort of a hit right now. Everyone uses it. Everyone tries and changes the cursor of the user into some crazy stuff. Like in this case, it's kind of lazy. It follows the cursor with a delay, or probably this is the recording software issue and this kind of stuff. This is why we're kind of seeing everything with a delay. And I've noticed that in the previous stream, once I was opening some websites that actually needed were actually a little bit challenging for our internet connection, then there was a delay in the audio and in the video too, so I'm sorry for that if it's happening again right now. Here is also the use of animation, the typography. Again, we have a combination of, okay, scroll up. I cannot scroll up. I wanted to show that art again, but you saw that that was kind of a 3D art. Then we scroll down and it switches to a totally different color scheme, which was kind of surprising for me because I expected everything to be black and red and white as well. Got really excited for it, but then out of the blue, I see an illustration using blue colors. How is that? Why? Anyway, scrolling further down, and we see that they actually use this blue and orange color scheme. Here it goes. And it looks like, it actually looks like, oh right, it actually looks like sort of a case study. It's a case study. I accidentally, okay, you know what guys, I accidentally opened a portfolio item and a specific case study. So let's take us to the home page. So this is the home page, and this is why the illustration was in blue and orange, and I didn't notice, and because it was a case study of the project they did. But now we are on the home page, and here we either have no background image or it hasn't loaded yet. All right, but it's actually meant, I believe it's meant to be gray. And as we scroll down, all it gives us is the changing of the images in the slider here, and the elements here are clickable. And I really love the placement of the elements in this one. You got a lot of white space, and your eye is immediately drawn to one thing in the middle of the viewport, and you know where to look. And once you're bored with what you see right in the middle of the screen, then you start exploring further. You see the menu links, you see the logo, then you see that you've got a little bit of navigation here, right? And you also got some, in this case, text is used for decoration. Here, this one, and this one. Scrolls are cheap. These little titles here are actually, these little headings here are actually used for decoration, so they're not actually meant to be read first of all. They are just used to fill the white space and make it look more interesting, to sort of create this sort of a border. If you pay close attention, you can notice that it actually creates, and it's really funny how this thing follows me around, follows the cursor. It sort of creates this outline around the slider item right here, right? And this way, right, these little things are also animated, and this way it kind of emphasizes where you should look, because it surrounds the item in the middle in such a way. It kind of draws a rectangle around it. All right, and I really love this one, really love it, love the layout, and sending the link to the chat so you can check it out too. Next one, and next one is going to be another trend. Actually, we're done with the art. We are done with the 3D stuff. We're done with the illustrations. And next one is going to be something really crazy. We mentioned a broken grid before, But this layout is going to be like really broken. And what is going on in here is that they still keep the visual hierarchy, they keep it going, and the first thing you notice is these two headlines right here, and then the other stuff that you can click on is these. And what I believe is that it's still something for a creative individual, and well, it's created with text elements, so it's simply they took the grid and they just rotated it like 45 degrees, I believe. It looks like 45 to me. And as you scroll down, it turns into a more normal kind of stuff, more normal type of website. But the hero section, yeah, it's pretty normal. But oh, Jen Simmons. Oh, it's super awesome. I really love this website. Yeah, it's because of this hero section, it actually introduces the owner of the website actually introduces this person in such a way that you immediately know that they're a creative individual and they have something to do with design, with probably development. And then you can scroll down and explore more of their work. And so using this kind of solution, this kind of a graphic design solution, web design solution, it kind of makes the user, it kind of makes the first impression a lot different, and it kind of makes the user have a certain opinion on you already. Once they see the hero section on your website, they can say, oh, this person is creative, this person is not afraid to cross the boundaries, this person is not afraid to do something unconventional, to do something that no one else is doing. And it kind of seems like everyone started doing what they think no one else is doing. But let's move on. Moving on to the next one, we'll actually this will be the last one. If we're talking about the graphic design and the visual kind of stuff. And what I could do right here is show you a couple more websites if we have time. And the two more trends that I wanted to mention were the voice capable interfaces, which you can interact with using probably the voice search, using this kind of stuff. And actually, this technology is expected to be like really widespread in the next year, in a couple years from now. This is why it's important to start looking into it. And they are called voice capable interfaces. And I actually, well, it would be cool if I could show them to you, but I think that we could. It has been over an hour, so I think I actually went over a lot more links than I meant to, than I was planning to, because we also reviewed a couple of themes that you can get on TemplateMonster.com. This is why we're gonna wrap this thing up right now, because we're kind of over an hour, and as always, I was planning to do it like, I was planning to do this thing maybe for 30-40 minutes, but it was over an hour, so it's time to wrap it up. To sum up this entire thing, we talked about a number of trends that are going to be extremely popular in the next year, in the following year, in 2020. And it will be bold typography, it will be asymmetrical layouts, it will be animations, it will be 3D art and illustrations, and it will be broken grids, broken layouts, a lot of overlapping elements and this kind of stuff. And this is what you should start looking into if you want to create something attractive and something trendy in the next year. So I'm really excited to see what we can do next week. We're still open for any of your ideas. We're still open to any requests. So if you guys want to see something specific, if you have a specific request for a tutorial, maybe for a sort of a explanatory video, like we wanted to do something on the design principles, something on the design basics, the typography basics and stuff like that, how to pair fonts, this kind of thing. Well, if you have any requests, you can always let me know somewhere in the comments under our live streams, under our tutorials, on our social media. By the way, we're about to launch a WordPress community for people who constantly work with WordPress and Elementor, and it's going to be live really soon. And of course, I'm going to be talking about it on the next live stream. If the community is live by that time, I'm going to be talking about it. I'm going to share the link so you can join, you can check it out, you can join the community. And actually there, we're going to be posting a lot of educational stuff. We're going to be interacting with our audience a lot more. So we can all improve and we can all get better at what we are doing. So we all can become better web designers, web developers, and all that good stuff. All right, we're about to wrap this thing up. I'm really happy that we had this talk today, that we reviewed that many cool looking, amazing work by creative, really professional designers and developers. And thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope that we can meet next week as well. And I wish you a great the end of the day and great and productive week. Thank you so much for joining in. I see you next week. Bye, guys.